There is a specific type of silence that happens right before a major breakthrough. It's the silence of your phone not ringing. It's the silence of a Friday night spent alone while everyone else is out partying. It's the silence of you sitting alone with your thoughts. Many people may call this loneliness, and they might try to portray it negatively. They might say that it's something to run from, it's something to be afraid of. But in truth, if you're chasing excellence, that silence is not going to be a problem. It's actually just the cost of entry to a better life. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why a period of isolation just like this is actually the most competitive advantage that you can give yourself. Most people are terrified to be alone because truthfully, when it's just you and your thoughts, when the room goes quiet, it can be a pretty scary sight. There are buried traumas, events in the past, there's some worries about the future. There's a lot going on in our heads that really just comes to the forefront if you don't have constant stimulation, if you don't have entertainment being placed in front of you to distract yourself from that. But really, by paying attention to those thoughts, that is the key to unlock the life that you really want to live. Those thoughts are actually indicators of what you need to focus on, where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. By just drowning them out in constant stimulation and entertainment, you're not going to give yourself the chance to even grapple with those thoughts, to even master your own mind. Being alone is a price that we need to pay to channel our energy and focus completely on the most important levers in our lives. We need to come face to face with who we are now and how far that we might be from the person that we want to become. Even if it's scary, even if it feels overwhelming, even if we feel like we're miles and miles away from that ideal outcome. And keep in mind, as you do this, as you work through this exercise of sitting alone with your thoughts, there is no right or wrong place to be at a specific point in your life. You can always change. You have agency. You can adapt and shift your actions to align with a higher self. But really, it starts with undistracted silence. The world's highest achievers do not run from loneliness. They do not treat it as something to be afraid of. And on the flip side, most of them are naturally not lonely people. A lot of them are outgoing, they're extroverts, they're charismatic, and that's kind of how they get to where they are in life. But even the most outgoing and social and charismatic of those high achievers in history, they go through a period of isolation. They recognize that there's a time when they simply just need to be undistracted. They need to lock themselves away, sit themselves in the chair, sit at the computer, and get that deep work done. Get the focus in on that specific task that's going to take their business or their life to the next level. It's a theme that you'll see over and over in high achievers. And one of the most famous examples of this is Isaac Newton. During the Great Plague of the 1600s in London, he actually had to go through a period of quarantine because, the plague was spreading like wildfire and everybody needed to basically isolate themselves from any other human contact. So he retreated to a ranch house that his family had way outside of the city, and he spent about 18 months there in that ranch house while the plague was raging around all of London and all of Europe. During this lonely period, Newton discovered calculus, he discovered the laws of motion, and he came up with the theory of gravity. This is widely considered to be one of the most productive periods for a single human mind in all of history. And I'm not saying that you also need to rewrite our understanding of the physical universe. Like, this is pretty insane what Newton was able to accomplish in those 18 months. But imagine what you could accomplish within your sphere of influence with a period of intensity like that. A period of pure focus on what is most important and interesting to you. So this is the cost of entry to excellence. You can pay the debt now and reap the rewards for years to come, or you can pay the cost of unrealized potential. There's going to be a cost to everything, whether you stay the same or whether you're taking action to move your life forward in the direction that you want to go. The cost of unrealized potential should be scary to everyone. It might be that you have a few hazy memories of some crazy fun wild nights out, but you don't really have much to show for it. You don't have many results that came out of that period of life. Or you may have pleased everyone. You may have said yes to a lot of things. You may have been on the social scene and been avoiding FOMO by putting yourself in those positions. But as time goes on, you'll start to realize that you're leaving yourself feeling drained and unfulfilled by not committing to that itch, that burning desire that is inside of you, that thing that you want to work on, that thing that you want to make progress on. By saying yes to each and every invite and putting yourself out in positions that you don't necessarily even want to be, and not spending time alone working on the biggest task in your life, you're going to start to feel this creeping feeling of missing out. And it's a different sort of FOMO than the social FOMO. It's a FOMO of just you're missing out on your potential. To me, that's 10 times scarier than missing out on some event or some activity on the town that's going to happen next weekend and the weekend after that. At the end of the day, you are the only one who has to live with those choices. So by making choices that are trying to please people or cater to what you think people's perception of you is, you're going to be the one stuck with the outcome from those decisions. It's your life. You can take control of it. You can decide to isolate yourself for a period of time to make a quantum leap in your life. The people that matter are still going to be there afterwards, and you can always connect in different ways. It's not like you're going to be on an island going full monk mode, not talking to anybody for years and 18 months like Isaac Newton was, but you can make the choice to decide to focus on something that's more important to you, something that's a higher calling for you, something that's really going to lead to rewards and benefits down the line. So guys, you don't need to completely cut yourself off, but understand that for certain periods of time in your life, great results require great commitment. Do you want to deal with the fear of missing out on the next night out at the bar, or do you want to deal with the fear of missing out on your goals? The choice is clear to me.